All right, hi fourth graders. Let's see, today I'd like to try to show you a couple of different examples um, of how we multiply fractions. I think the multiplication part will be quite simple. I think it's what we do after we multiply that can cause a little bit of maybe frustration or maybe confusion. Because when you multiply fractions, oftentimes we're left with products or answers that we just can't leave in the form that they are. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'll start with the simple ones that you'll be introduced to. The first kind of multiplication that you'll see is when you have to multiply a unit fraction. So let's say you have problem that says you have let's say 8. You want to multiply that times the unit fraction of 1/6. And it's a unit fraction because the denominator is a 1. So the problem reads, you have what is 1/6 of 8, or what is, the number 1/6 8 times. So what I like to do is I like to rewrite my problem where both numbers are in the form of fraction. And the reason I do that is because it helps me organize all the numbers more consistently. So the one thing I know that the number 8 by itself is fine, but I know that if you divide any number by 1, the number doesn't change. It remains 8, right? So you can take 8 divided by 1 and you get 8. 10 divided by 1 is 10, and 99 divided by 1 is 99. So what you can do is you can rewrite any whole number as a fraction. Just put a 1 in the denominator. So there's really no difference. The number 8 is still the same thing as 8 over 1, or 8 divided by 1. And now you can multiply that times the unit fraction 1/6. And when you're multiplying fractions, you're allowed to multiply both the numbers on top and the numbers on the bottom. So 8 times 1, that's going to be 8. And my denominator, 1 times 6, is going to be 6. So here I have 8/6. And you'll notice that 8 over 6, or 8/6, it's an improper fraction. And normally we don't like to leave our numbers, our products, as improper. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and change that to a mixed number. So I'm going to write that here. So we have improper. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that product and we're going to change that to a mixed number. And remember, the way we do that is we decompose it. And by decomposing, what I mean is we're going to break it down into smaller fractions that are added to each other. And in the process, we're going to see if there are any whole numbers or whole fractions that we can take out of the improper fraction. And we know we can because any improper fraction is going to be larger than 1, is larger than a whole fraction. So there's at least one whole fraction inside this fraction, or this improper fraction. And if I want to add two fractions, my denominator has to stay the same. And if I want to make a whole fraction, well, the number on top has to be the same as the number on the bottom. So far I have 6/6, and I'm almost done because I have 6, but I need to get to 8. So I need how many more to get from 6 to 8, or 6 plus what number will give me 8? So I have 6 plus 2. So now I have 6/6, which is a whole fraction, plus 2/6, and that's 8/6. That's exactly correct. So now what I can do is I can rewrite this. And how do we rewrite that? Well, we have a whole fraction. So what you do is you kind of exchange that whole fraction for the whole number 1. So 6 out of 6 becomes 1. And my fraction that's remaining is 2/6. So my whole number, or my final product, is 1 and 2/6. So go back to the beginning, you have 8 times 1/6. So I changed the 8 to a fraction of 8 over 1 multiplied times 1/6. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 6 is 6. 8 over 6 is improper. And so what we did was we decomposed it. We found the whole number, the whole fraction, inside that improper fraction. And then we added the fraction that led us back to 8/6. And then we exchanged the whole fraction for a whole number of 1. And then our fractional remainder is 2/6. And this is our mixed number. Let me try one more. before I end this video. Let's just try two pretty common fractions. When you're multiplying fractions together, you have let's say 2/3, and they're going to ask you to multiply that times 5/6. So with fractions, again, you just kind of multiply the top and the bottom, which is okay. So I have 2 times 5, which is 10, and 3 times 6, which is 18. And you'll notice with this one, it's fine, right? I don't think I have to do anything else because I have a regular fraction. I don't have an improper fraction, meaning my numerator is lower than my denominator. So I know that this fraction, I don't really have to do anything with. When you're in 5th grade, you'll have to reduce this. You'll have to find a way to simplify this. But at this point in 4th grade, you don't have to. So let's look at an example where we have to, again, kind of decompose. So sometimes you'll get an improper fraction. Let's say you have 6/5, and you're going to be asked to multiply that times, let's say um, 5/2. So here, you just go ahead and multiply. I have 6 times 5, which is 30. And then I have 5 times 2 on the bottom, which is 10. And you'll see right away you have 30 tenths. Some of you might see right away, well, I can just divide. I know that 30 divided by 10 is going to equal 3, which is correct. But if you wanted to practice, what you could do is you could decompose this, and you can add fractions together to get back to 30 tenths. And remember, when you're doing that, you're trying to find whole fractions that are within this improper fraction. So this is improper. So we have tenths. So if I need a whole fraction, then my denominator has to be the same as my numerator. So that's 1. So I have 10 out of 10, but I have to get to 30. So I can add 10 more. Well, that's 2, right? 2 whole fractions. 10 plus 10 is 20. Well, how many more do I need to go? I have 10, I have 20. Now I have to get back to 30, so I have 10 more. So what you can do is you can exchange these. So you have one whole fraction plus another whole fraction plus another whole fraction, and you have 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that's 3. So you can see we ended up with 3 both times. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this video here. I know I'm already approaching 8 minutes. Keep a lookout for another video where I do some more multiplication with mixed numbers and whole numbers, which is kind of where a lot of students tend to struggle. And I'll do my best to lay things out as simple as possible. Thank you.